word left. Settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down, settle down. That's what it is. Settle down. Let's go. Come on.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of Settle Down Podcast. Today I'm joined by Dan Keating. He is a very talented young man who recently just DP'd a shoot for me. It's a mob movie that I wrote and directed, and we've shot it in January. And one of the things that you just brought up to me that made me excited to do the show was you said, one of your biggest flaws is, and I said, stop, we got to record.
Yes.
So, as you may or may not know, I always say leave a comment down below if you disagree with me. I love people that disagree with me.
Does anybody ever disagree with you?
Yes. And they're sitting
balls on that guy.
And they're sitting right in front of me right now. So this is part of what I want to talk about. I call out a lot of people. I talk shit about a lot of people, and very rarely are there people, for whatever reason, sometimes they just don't want to get involved. Sometimes they just don't want to, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But you tend to be the guy who has no problem telling me like it is. No matter what position you're in, no matter what. Yeah. And I commend you for that.
Thank you.
So my biggest flaw is what?
Yeah, so let's just jump right in.
Yeah, go.
So I think, well, on the topic of flaws, I think that your biggest flaw happens to be your drive for greatness. That's what I said in the last one. Excuse my voice as well. I'm like, really, my allergies are terrible. But I think your biggest flaw is your drive for greatness. I think that your will to make everything very, very good and very professional. And I do the same thing. So I don't bullshit. I mean, I'm not gonna like sit here and bullshit and be like, oh, bro. But like,
no, I want it to be honest. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you have something to call me out on, and I don't mean like something in general.
Yeah, well,
I mean like if you have a, like, I want to know your real opinion.
You want everything to be perfect. Everything has to be perfect. It has to be the right way, and it has to be done the right way. And if it's not done the right way, shit goes down.
Right. So I've said on just to clarify. So I've definitely said on previous episodes. If you haven't seen them, go back and watch them. I've definitely said on previous episodes that on set I tend to get irate, or I flip out, or I yell, and
we've had our moments.
We've definitely had our moments, and yet you still come back.
I'm here.
So who's the real crazy one?
That would have to be me.
Okay, right.
In a way.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with that being said, that doesn't mean that I'm not crazy. It just means that you're more crazy.
I think if if our friendship didn't exist, things would be much different.
Yeah, but like also,
if we weren't friends, and then I'm like, why the hell is this guy reading me in a parking lot over a shoot? I'd be like, ah.
Okay, but you were very tooty on that day.
I was very tooty. We all know that.
They don't. now they do.
You will know about it. Yeah.
Anyway, but no, go ahead. I genuinely I like this. I like that when someone, tell me like it is. Go.
Yeah, so I think that your drive, obviously, for everything to be perfect, is definitely one of your biggest flaws. But
How?
It's also
How is it a flaw?
It's also a very good thing in a way. It's a flaw because when we're getting down to things and everybody, and there's something not going right, sometimes just shit tends to hit the fan. And I think when shit tends to hit the fan, we're still striving for greatness, and sometimes there has to be a compromise in a way. And I think that when we decide to do the compromise between like shots or whatever we're doing on set, it always comes after the little freak out of why we can't, like, not your freak out, everybody's freak out of like what's happening. I think there's a lot of instances where you've handled things very well. On the last shoot, when I was freaking out over the scene in the dining room and I couldn't get the shot, you were very calm. And that's one of the biggest things I'm
trying to remember the scene. Can you explain?
Over the top, we had it on the dolly as well as the jib, and we were trying to go over the top and pan up to them at the table eating.
Oh yeah.
One of the hardest shots.
And Colin was in there trying to do stuff. And
we couldn't get anything.
Right.
And I think I have to commend you because I was about to lose it personally, and I think you came in and you were like, "All right, let's just do the compromise." The first time in my life, I was like, "Damn." It's different.
Okay, because can I explain?
Yeah, no, go ahead.
I feel like the initial idea that we wanted to do, it would have been very cool.
It was a very cool shot.
It was a great shot. And I commended you for like really trying to get that shot. And I still feel, by the way, like the shot that we ended up getting was dope.
Yeah. I think it looked really good. I'm glad we got it.
Yeah, no, same. I think it ended up being really, really cool. I think at some point you have to just be like, all right, well, if we continue with this, not only is it like we're still not getting the shot, the potentially cool shot or whatever, we're also now cutting into time of like the rest of the
2
scene
hours.
that we need
doing
to.
that thing for 2 hours.
Yeah, for
It was
one
terrible.
shot, and it's like okay, but like maybe we just compromise, do something else, so we can film the rest of the scene.
Exactly.
So that's why I wasn't angry about it.
Yeah.
If you had fought me on and you're like, no, we're gonna spend another 2 hours trying to get it.
I wanted to get off that shot for like the last like hour.
And that's why. That's why you were.
I didn't want to say it.
But that's why you were happy with me not. But that's why I didn't get upset.
Yeah.
When I get upset when it's a logistical thing, when it's like, as an example, and I want you to call me out too. I'm not trying to. I'm just saying, as an example.
Let's hear it.
And again, this was a long time ago.
Do I remember this or not?
Oh, you're gonna remember.
It's not the Wire one.
No. Same shoot though.
I can't remember. Go ahead.
You called me at the time at your call time.
I remember where I was.
You called me at your call time on the call sheet. It said Dan has to be on set.
You weren't even mad about that one, dude.
I wasn't mad, but I caught a bunch of shit from everybody else who was there on time.
Shit from no.
There were other people there on set.
I was in traffic.
No, you weren't.
I had to get a camera case, but then I was in traffic.
So that's an interesting way to put that.
Yeah.
So you had to get
it.
You had to get a camera case.
Harbor Freight trip comes once a week, and it was that day.
Right, but it was scheduled for shoot for like a month in advance at least.
In all fairness, that drive up every single morning sucked. Oh my lord! Are you an hour? I spent like 2 hours early in traffic.
Dan.
All right, I'm just saying.
Okay, so this is.
No, I know. I purposely went to go get a camera case.
So
I
don't
apologize.
take the job if the drive sucks. That's like not an excuse. You see what I'm saying? And that's not me yelling at you. This is what I would say to anybody. No, this is what I would say to anybody. You knew what the drive was before you said,
I did.
okay, I want to do the job, you know?
In all fairness, I was in my...
You showing up late because you had to buy a camera case when it's like, well, the shoot's over in 2 days, maybe you could just buy it then. That was why I got upset.
I was in my youth days, all right?
I'm not even defending the upsetness. I'm explaining why I was upset on set.
And I totally understand why you were upset.
You know, like imagine if you had a shoot and you were...
Oh, this happened to me last week.
Really?
Yes.
Were you the one in charge, and then someone showed up late because they had to buy a camera case?
Oh no, it wasn't.
And
a
then
camera
called
case.
you, and they're like, "Hey man, I know you're not
a camera
even
case. It was. I'm glad he pulled through. It was one of those things where like
tell the story. They're not going to watch this.
Okay. Same kind of deal.
Don't name names though.
I'm not going to name any. Okay. Don't worry. I protect
here's,
this kid.
Here's what I've learned, by the way.
Yeah.
Can I tell you one quick thing? When you tell a story and you don't name names, and then people get upset about you talking about them, all they're doing is showing the world that you're talking about them.
Exactly.
You didn't name any names.
Yeah. So I won't even get specific either. I had a shoot, very shitty and rush shoot, but we had a shoot.
Fair enough.
And it wasn't like anything crazy. I was the DP, the director, first AC, second AC. I did everything.
Right.
I didn't want to deal with the whole thing. So we had an actor.
This is for school, right?
Did for school. I love this kid so much.
Okay.
But his timing, oh god, it's awful. I mean, it is. Like
you mean his punctuality timing?
It is like pulling teeth to get this kid to show up or something. And he was like, "Yeah, I want this role really bad. I'm gonna be there." All right. Now keep in mind.
No, he's an actor.
Yeah.
At
this point, at this point in the shoot, right? At this point in the shoot, we had already rewritten the script a bunch of times, and I was like, you know what? I'm gonna write this kid as like one of the main characters. He was supposed to show up at like 2:00. That's when we're gonna start shooting. Next thing you know, he's texting me he's not going to be there till past 6. I'm like, what? I'm like, what's going on?
Right.
So I recasted. In the moment, I recasted. I got somebody else, but that he still wanted to be a part of the shoot. And I love this kid, so I'm like, I got to put him in the shoot. So the shoot was only supposed to have like two characters. And the next thing you know, we have a third character. So if you watch this film, which I'll show you later on, there is a lot of moving pieces because there's a lot of main characters. And they all show up at different times. But they all have their each individual main role.
Sounds like a Daniel Keating film.
It is.
We have 2 hours I'm gonna write 9 main characters into a
Yeah.
film, and we're just gonna make. It also has to be an hour and a half long. We only have 2 hours though, and it's only, by the way, there's 5 sets. We have to.
I'll keep it very brief, and I'll keep it very brief.
You don't have to. We have an hour.
Well, you haven't seen this film yet, okay?
Okay.
But I'll just give you the brief rundown.
Sure.
Pizza guy shows up to a house, right?
I feel like I've seen this before.
You haven't.
Okay.
No, you haven't.
I was making a joke.
Oh. Extra large sausage pizza.
There you go. Thank you.
Yeah. So it starts off with this with this kid trying to join this. I just hit the mic. I'm so sorry. Oh my god, I just hit the mic. Is it okay? Did you guys hear that? No one heard that. I hit the mic.
So we're all on separate audio tracks. So
That's lit. I just had a little freak out there. Anyway, so starts off this kid's trying to join this organization. Whatever kind of organization it is, I don't really know, but they commit crimes. Okay, and he wants to join it, and he says, you know what, you got to kill a pizza guy. All right.
Why?
No reason why. Just gonna do it.
It sounds like a Daniel Keating film.
Oh yeah.
All right.
So the pizza guy shows up, deliver the pizza. Right now this guy's gonna put together an elaborate plot to kill this pizza guy
Because
he has to. No other reason why.
Okay, good.
So
Yep.
he has to kill the pizza guy.
I now see.
So he's
why
like, you know what?
I
You're gonna
wasn't
come back
involved.
tonight. You're gonna come back tonight. You're gonna bring the pizza to the basement. When you bring the pizza to the basement, I'll be there.
Okay.
And that'll be it. All right. Pizza guy goes, all right, you better have that good tip money. Leaves. All right. Comes back that night.
Pizza guy demands a tip.
Pretty much. Brings it to the basement. Extra charge. Comes back later that night. Right.
Okay.
Brings it to the basement. No one's there. Oh, kind of spooky. Next thing you know, his car alarm's going off upstairs. His car gets jacked. So now he's walking back. He's like, what the hell? My car just got jacked. His car pulls around the corner behind him and hits him. He gets run over by his own car. Who's driving the car? The kid that was hired to kill him. Right. Now, the kid that was hired to kill him has to go back to the big boss. Goes back to the big boss and says, hey, I killed your guy. One problem. They found the body, and they're having a public burial ceremony for him. Big boss goes, what the
All
fuck?
in the same night.
All it's there.
Daniel Keating film. All
Daniel
right, go
Keating
ahead.
film.
Yep. Okay.
He goes, what? Like
You see my point.
A public
2 hours,
burial.
5 sets.
He goes, a public burial. What the fuck? He goes, there's gonna be some big consequences for this, and pulls out a giant knife. Cuts to a giant industrial park.
Cut to
In a giant industrial park, and he's burying the guy that was hired to kill the pizza guy. So, in the end of the day, 2 people die, and the
and the big boss wins.
big boss wins. And that just goes to show, and it's an internal message, all right? That the big man is
that
always
you're gonna
win.
lose, and I'm gonna win.
Exactly. I mean, it's quite frankly one of the most intense plots. That's also one of the shittiest plots I think I've ever wrote.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. It sounds like a Dan Keating film, though.
Damn right it is.
All right.
So that was the film. Showed up late, wrote a bunch of. Originally, it wasn't supposed to be like that, but it turned into that.
How much rewriting did you have to do?
On the fly, we just started coming up with ideas. I mean, we were down to like the minute. I was like, you know what? What if you just kill him? I mean, I came down to that.
Yeah.
And he killed him.
He did.
Yeah, no, that was that. It was interesting, but we got it done. We got it in for a grade, and you know what? It looked damn good. That's all that matters. Story didn't make any sense. The teacher hated the acting. Oh my god, went on and on about the acting because one of the actors puts on a Irish accent or some kind of accent. You ever watch Peaky Blinders? Puts on that accent. I think it's Irish.
That would be British.
British.
Irish, yeah.
I've never watched it. Puts on that accent.
So you have no idea what the accent is,
No.
but that's the accent he put on.
I was like, you know, just do your thing. The teacher hated the accent. Oh my god, he kept skipping over the I was like, I can't listen to this anymore. This is terrible. Atrocious.
wow.
Skipped over it. Yeah, no, I think he was just jealous though. Honestly, about the acting quality, tremendous.
Was it good?
Honestly, I the kid that was the main actor, I love the kid to death. I think he's a phenomenal actor. I think he should go into acting.
He's not currently an actor?
No.
Oh, interesting.
It's my 2 best friends. You know these guys are.
Oh. Did an accent?
Dude, it was good.
Was it I can bleep it. Was it that was doing
Was
the
doing the accent, and then got his little accent in too. So it was good. It was good. No, it was.
Which one do you think should go into acting?
Oh.
Oh, really?
It was
Really?
one of the best actors I think I've ever seen in my life. Everybody says it. Every single time I have this kid act, people go, that kid can act.
You are dead.
No, I'm not. You are dead.
That's the best, dude.
You guys
You
don't
are dead.
understand, but that was the best line I think we've ever written into a film. That was so good. Yeah, no, I love this kid. I think he should go into acting. We should get him on the show. Honestly, I think he's really talented. He's just gonna get his head out of his ass soon. But he's very good. He's very talented, and I think that he could go very far. Honestly, I talk very highly of him. I love the kid.
What else? Go back to calling me out. Tell me more about what I do wrong.
Oh, we really went off topic, huh? Oh my god, I'm so sorry. What else you do wrong? There's nothing I really can like say out loud. That's like. I mean, I think sometimes you're very quick to be like, "What the fuck," and like do your shit. I think a lot of times there's a lot of miscommunications where I'm trying to do the job, and you're like, "Dude, do the job." I'm like, "I'm doing the job." You know?
Can you give me an example?
I think there's a lot of times we miscommunicate, and then it leads to problems. I can't give you an exact example. I mean, you get kind of snippy with everybody when we're on sets and we're doing things, so I can't like be like, "Oh, this time, this date and place," because I feel like you've gotten snippy with me. I mean, I remember I'm not saying this is you, but I remember we had a little moment in the car together outside the hotel room that we were filming in.
Okay.
I was so overwhelmed, bro.
But was I snippy in that moment?
I not in the moment. No, I think we were very overwhelmed from what was going on inside.
It was that day specifically was a very long day.
It was a very long day, and I will say and this isn't you personally, that anything that you can fix. I just think that sometimes when you're in control, you assert your dominance a lot, and I feel like in asserting your dominance, because I get my feelings hurt all the time. I feel like sometimes I feel under.
Can you clarify what you mean by I assert my dominance?
Like so shit's going down. We need to get some stuff done, and you're like, "This is what we're gonna do. Move the camera, do this."
Okay.
And I feel
so
I know what you're gonna say.
Okay.
I know exactly what you're gonna say.
What am I gonna say?
Let me just finish this point.
Okay. Just make sure you address what I'm gonna say then.
What you're gonna say is that sometimes shit needs to get done.
Sometimes?
All the time. Now, my motto is sometimes. All right?
Whose name is in the signature line on the check?
It's you. You're writing the checks.
Who has the? You know what I'm saying?
I know. No, I totally understand. I mean, I think that you know, I don't want to say facts don't care because it's not facts, but like, you know, like this situation doesn't care about.
I think
your feelings.
I was gonna say I think that makes a lot of sense. Why would anyone, not me, why would anyone write a bunch of checks to people who are doing whatever they want?
No, I understand. I think sometimes I try to like, and I think we really communicated well when we like obviously no director of photography wants to get bitched on a set, right? Obviously, by a director.
Think that I did.
I'm not saying you're bitching me. What I'm saying is like sometimes I felt like I was like, oh, for me being so young with the role, right? Sometimes
that you asked for.
That I did ask for.
Okay.
Yes, for me being so young with the role, I felt that when you have actors and you have, you know, people that are around you that are much older than you, I feel like sometimes they're like, what the fuck is this kid doing here? And I feel like my best way to assert who I am as a filmmaker is just to do the shit the right way. And when a director comes over, it's like, hey, no, stop, put the camera down, let me tell you what to do in front of everybody. Not saying it's wrong. I'm saying that I would do the same shit. I would do the same exact shit you did.
Right.
I'm saying that for me, as in my moment of trying to be, you know, essentially big on set, I feel like it's like, fuck, like I just got exposed and I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing. And sometimes I get carried away in the moment and you're like, you know, like sometimes I get carried away. I'm like, I'm doing this. And you're like, stop. No. And I'm like, all right. You know, I feel like in that moment, I'm like, damn. But I feel like in the end, it's whatever. You gotta do what you gotta do. It's your company. It's your job. You're writing the checks. Do what you gotta do, you know?
Okay. So not okay.
I think I summed it up pretty well. I mean, I don't take any offense to it.
Right. I mean, I'm not even trying to like. I don't want to sound like I'm downplaying any of your feelings or.
Yeah. I just downplayed them myself, so it's okay.
No.
Yeah.
I'm actually. You know what I'm more aggravated about? The fact that the light's not on behind your head. I want that light on.
Yeah, I'll take care of that.
No, I'm just saying. I feel like. Well,
can I take care of it?
You can. I don't. It's not going to be. Well, it's fine. We're going to leave this in anyway. We have to. Otherwise, the lighting will just randomly change. So.
Changing the light. Striking. The light has been changed. Oh, that looks sexy.
That's why I wanted it on.
That looks good. Why didn't you tell me? Oh my. You kidding me?
Well, you're blonde. So
we
it
did the
helps.
whole thing without it?
Yeah, that whole thing. But I have to keep it now because it's a great
that
conversation.
Sucks.
It's a great conversation.
It's a great conversation.
So and I really am enjoying it. Seriously.
I am enjoying it too. I think we're having a lot of fun banter here. I think that's the word, right?
Sure. I think we're diving into some deeper stuff.
Yeah.
Okay.
I like looking at myself. I'm so sorry.
I know. touched on a couple of things.
Yeah.
And I don't want to necessarily like defend myself by downplaying what you're saying. And I think part of it has to do with you
Yes. I 100% agree.
and the way that you perceive certain things.
Yeah.
Would you say that you're the calmest person on set?
No,
Okay.
not when you give me that much caffeine. That should be an illegal amount of caffeine. All right, I'm just saying.
Right. So, I mean, I gave you a role on set.
That was very
in the
big.
crew that was a big boy role, big person role. I don't want to say big boy or big girl or whatever, like big person role,
Yeah.
right? I knew you could handle it. I thought you did handle it. I was incredibly impressed by the way that everything turned out. And on that day specifically, I felt like the part of the reason we talked in the car was because I didn't want to expose you or whatever you want to call it. I pulled you aside and I was like, hey, you're doing a really good job, by the way. I feel like it's important to note that, like, with the crazy flying off the handle way that I can be, I also follow it up with like nice stuff as well.
I will say I was a total dick on set for those 2 days. I was the biggest dick
because
ever.
you haven't said that yet. So like that's why I was saying like
I was I like sat there and like I would not like laugh at anything. Like you guys were saying jokes, I'd be like, no. I was because I also want to be like locked in too. And then when you were like, hey Dan, like smile, I'd be like, no. You know, like I was very locked in at the moment, and like I feel like I get the most stuff done when I'm like not down in the dumps, but I'm like, all right, like this is gonna get done. It's gonna get done. It's gonna suck in the moment.
I think that
but
it's
we're gonna get it
important though
done.
to have a balance between like making people laugh and joking around, and that's why it's hard to be the boss because you're the guy with the answers, but you're also the guy that's like has to get shit done. Because you and I both know that if you hadn't, like, let's say you did a really bad job, which I'm okay saying because you didn't do a really bad job. So let's say you did a really bad job. You like when you're done with it, how do you feel about the work?
I don't think there was a way that we could have done a bad job with
I'm
you
saying
as director.
if a person does a really bad job, how do you think they feel about the work at the end?
That it's not good. Yeah, I know.
So my job is like to sit back and make sure that everyone's doing their job to the best of their ability. And when you get overwhelmed, sometimes specifically with you, because you're here in front of me, so I don't want to talk about, you know what I mean? Like you're here to, you tend to get overwhelmed in a sense that's like you're it's almost like you can see your mind thinking about 900 things at once, and I have to be like, yo, stop moving.
Yeah.
Breathe. What is it that you're trying to accomplish? Which is why on that last day when we were trying to do that crazy shot that you wanted to do.
Oh, that was that was the last day, yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, I wasn't.
No, the last day was actually really, really chill.
I
was
know.
actually more stressed out than you were on the last day.
And was I?
No, the last day was really good. I think we did have a little argument last day.
About what?
I remember this. I remember I was in the right for once, and you would not admit it. I remember this.
What was it about?
There was okay, well I was technically in the wrong, but I do have to say that I was technically in the wrong.
Okay.
But it wasn't. I didn't know I was in the wrong. Like wait, I didn't know what happened. You told me to put the camera somewhere safe, and I did.
Okay.
And in the process of me moving my stuff, by the way, like the camera was somewhere safe, and it was told. And I don't know why anybody else. And I'm not calling anybody out. I'm not saying this to call anybody out. I'm saying like I don't know why the camera was touched. Besides me touching the camera, but I put the camera in a safe spot while we were packing up the cars.
Okay.
And the camera got moved. In that moment, somebody moved the camera.
Okay. So as the director of photography,
I know, but what I'm saying, and that's why I said it was my fault.
Hold on, but you're the head of the camera department, right?
But I said don't touch the camera.
To your team?
And it got touched. I don't want like the person to be like watching this and be like, wait, he didn't say that exactly. I thought I was like, all right, camera here. Or I didn't expect anybody to like move the camera.
So you assumed.
I don't. It's been like so many. It's been so long. I don't remember. But the camera was moved without me knowing. Is what I'm saying.
Okay.
In the process of me moving stuff outside. And whenever I came back in, I got my ass reamed out by you.
Okay, can you clarify what that means though? Because it sounds like I was abusive on set. Can you clarify what you mean by that? Because can we just admit that if I really was abusive?
Oh yeah, I'd be dead.
Wait, no, but you wouldn't be here.
No, I would not be able to walk. You are a very strong guy. Do you guys
I
know
don't mean physically
how
abusive.
strong Nicholas Williams is?
I don't
he
mean
is strong as hell.
Daniel.
Sorry.
I don't mean physically. I mean if it was to the point where we didn't like each other because of how horrible I was, you wouldn't be here right now.
Yeah, no.
Like, you're not here under like court order. You know what I mean? like, you know what I'm saying? Like, can we just clarify? Because like you say like, oh, I got my ass reamed, and it's like, okay, fine, but what did I say that made you feel that I was reaming your ass?
All stressed out, and you're like, why is the camera here? And I was like,
okay, so when I say, let's put the camera somewhere safe, and you go okay, and you move it, and I leave, and I come back, camera's in the middle of
came back,
camera's
and it was moved.
Camera's in the middle of the fucking room. And the last person that I said to move the camera and put it somewhere safe was the director of photography.
That sounds about right, yeah.
Who is now aimlessly walking around.
Hey, I was packing stuff, all right? All right. I think you know what I should do? On future sets, you should just let the director of photography, after his job is done, just sit there and bask in his accomplishments. I really feel that. Because, if he's just sitting there and he's just
I would have no problem with that, to be honest with you, if your team was doing what you asked them to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that team. That team was fucking great.
And I think this is a big misconception with being the boss of any sort of anything, or the leader or the head of any sort of department. Like, if the first AC messes up, or if the second AC messes up, yes, it's technically their fault, but it's the DP's fault too.
Yeah. Because
they're the director of photography.
You should make me a camera op next time. Just not even touch.
Stop.
I'm just saying.
I hate when you do this, when you downplay yourself and act like you have no talent. I hate it because it's so not true. Do you get what I'm saying though?
Yeah.
Like, you're very talented.
Thank
you're
you.
very inspirational. The way that you do the work, it's like watching a painting on the screen. It's beautiful. You do beautiful, beautiful work, and I love it.
Thank you.
Not the best writer. That's okay. It's a whole nother story.
Great writer.
Okay.
You want good stories? Hire me.
Okay.
You want to make sense? Don't hire me.
Right. There it is. Okay. But like, when it comes to like what I don't like is when you get overwhelmed on set. You know what it is? You tend to start going back to like tripod everything.
Yeah. I need
you to get over that.
I will say, I have been scarred from like going to like not even film school, but I have just been, before I met you and before I went to school for film, if you told me to get a shot, I would just take the camera and do it. Right? And I feel like now that like this in film school, this idea
if you were told to, and I feel like you still will. What I like about you, not to cut you off, I like about you though is when you come up with the stuff on your own, you go, "Oh, it'd be really cool if we did this." I tend to hear those ideas from you after we've wrapped. You go, "Oh, it would have been," or at least when I first met you, it was like, it's not so much like that anymore. But when I first met you, we would do something, and then afterward, watching the final product back, you go, "If I could do it again this way, I totally would." And I'm like, "Well, why didn't you say anything on set?" Because I would have done it that way. Because it's really cool.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Which is part of what made me so excited to give you that DP role on that last shoot. Because that was, for me, that was your opportunity to be like, again, with that shot we were just talking about on the last day, I was determined, as much as you were, to like get that shot. When it wasn't working, we both agreed, okay, it's time to move on and try and do something else. But like, I wanted to get the shot the way you wanted it for you. I wanted, because it was something that inspired you.
Exactly. I totally agree.
And I don't like at all when anyone who is creative would rather just do a tripod bullshit shot as opposed to like, let's put the camera on the plate and like, I love that shit.
I'm obsessed with dolly shots. I mean, I love dolly shots.
Yeah, me too.
I'm a big dolly shot guy.
Fuck.
I do like a lot of dolly shots. I think, this idea in film school where it's like this, and this, and this has to be this way.
Okay.
Like,
I hate that.
I clashed with my professor last semester. Not really clashed, but he was like, "You have to do this," and I broke a director line at some point in my film. I broke it. I shot from 180, I believe it is, right? Okay, I broke it, and he was like, "You have to flip the footage to make it match."
What?
Yeah, and I flipped it, and it looked like he was. So that car scene I showed you, it broke the director line. It did.
Okay, but was it intentional?
It's supposed to look weird. I wanted the film to look
jarring,
weird, weird. Like it's supposed to look unsettling, and that was the vibe of the film.
Okay, you keep saying the director line, so you mean you broke 180?
Yeah, director line's the word though. It's used around there. I don't know if it's. I'm not good with terms, as you can tell.
I know. You know me. I'm not a fan.
I think it's 180, right? Is it 180 director line as well? Anyway, yeah. So I broke 180.
Yeah.
And he was like, "You have to flip it in post now to make it match." And he was like, you have to flip it in post. And I flipped it. And it looked like the kid was driving a car like overseas. Because now the steering wheel was flipped. And I'm like,
The UK, yeah.
I'm like, this sucks, you know?
Right.
So I flipped it back. I probably got like 10 points taken off my film for it.
See, that's the part I think is bullshit.
Yeah.
I don't like that. Okay. All right, go ahead, whatever. You
but
know how I feel.
it was something that's also, you know, like it has to like.
And yeah, okay. So what ended up happening?
I just put it in. I think
Yeah.
my film.
Were you happy with the way it turned out your way?
I was happy the way that I think with my film, I drive for like perfection, and when it's not perfection, I'm like, I can't post it. I can't do anything with it. So there's obviously flaws with it that like I want to fix and I want to like, you know, redo. I think there's a lot of really good stylish establishing shots. I feel like I did too much on that. Like I was describing to you earlier when we were talking briefly, that there's too much establishing shots, too many creative shots, and not many things with depth on them. You know, when I'm doing coverage, I feel like everything's in focus because I'm filming on a very wide lens.
Yep.
And I personally didn't like the crispness of it. I wanted to see more depth, more blurry backgrounds, and all those kind of things. So I think going forward and building upon that, I would definitely change the lenses a little bit. Maybe, I mean, I was even talking to some kid in my class that only films on lenses like 50 plus. You know what I'm trying to say?
Okay.
Just to get like depth. I like wide lenses. 16 is my favorite. But like that's something I got to start giving up on because I feel like there's too much. It takes away the cinema, like the cinema aspect of it when you do everything looking like a freaking YouTube video or a GoPro video. You know?
Okay.
And I liked the style for a while. I think it was cool to get everything in and kind of warped and whatnot. But I think that it's just something you have to like do away with. I have to do away with.
Okay. Do you want my opinion? Or?
Yeah, go on.
I feel like if that's your style,
yeah,
that you should stick with it. You can also, something really cool, if you like a warped kind of look,
yeah,
just use a wider lens and then just stick it right in the person's face.
And we did do that on one of the shoots, didn't we?
You can get some depth on that.
That's pretty good. Yeah, that is true.
It looked cool. We did do it. We used a 12 or something.
It was on Collier, right?
No.
Yeah, it was.
No,
we did use
no.
it on Collier.
That's not the shot that I'm thinking of. I'm thinking of in January.
Oh, right here when we on the phone call. Yeah,
it was like a 12, wasn't it, or maybe a 16?
Very
but
wide.
it was wide, and it warped the fuck out of the actor.
Yeah,
but the scene, we were supposed to be like in his head. Like we were supposed to be like listening to that phone conversation. Like it was supposed to look a little jank, and it did.
And it looked cool.
It looked really cool.
You know what I've discovered a lot of?
But we stuck that lens right up against the actor. You still saw everything, though.
You know what I discovered a lot of recently?
Tell me.
And there was a kid in my class that did this film. And for the most part, everybody like really like disliked his film. But there was a lot of really good parts in it. And he used a lot of Dutch angles. And
I like Dutch angles.
And when used right, I feel like they're very powerful in the film.
Yeah, absolutely agree.
He used a very good one coming out of...
So you started it really quick. Just I want to hear more. You have to understand I wasn't in the class and neither were they.
Yeah.
So like you started this off though by saying a lot of people didn't like the film. Can you explain? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, when I say a lot of people didn't like, I feel like a lot of people in the class were, not very happy with the way the cinematography was. They thought it was very, very, it wasn't
because of the Dutch angle specifically.
Not even because of the Dutch angle specifically, because of just like the way he did a lot of the shots, right? Because of he did very basic, maybe like film, like beginner film class shots.
What does that mean? You have
like
to
basic tripod shots, cutting to a basic.
So it
thing.
looked like he was afraid.
Yeah, but he did do a lot of things that I did like a lot, and I think that in his like pickup day where he did it, I think it looked really good. I think he actually came out one of the best films in the class because a lot of people didn't like the way he did the shots and didn't like the way he color corrected it and things, but I think it just looked different, and when he had a lot of Dutch angles and like incorporating it and it's supposed to be like all together and look confusing, I thought it just really went well together. And when he did his like cutaway shots or all these different things, it was supposed to take place in a different space in reality. And I think that going back from the Dutch angles in reality to like these very jarring, like out of reality shots, which were very perfect and very like oversaturated, I think they looked, it really went hand in hand. So I have to honestly give him credit. He did a very artsy film, and I think that it was very good. I think that it sounds confusing with the way I'm describing it.
No, I get it.
But he had like two realities almost.
Yeah.
The normal reality was very Dutch, and it was like weird, and it was like.
And I feel like that's why. Sorry for interrupting.
No, it was different though. It was different. That's what I mean.
But like that's why story is still important.
Yeah.
Because if you have two very jarring realities, like in an artistic film,
Yeah.
you still want people to at least be able to follow the story so that they start to understand the differences between the two realities.
You know, I threw a story right out the door a long time ago, right?
No, well,
with
not-
my
not-
films.
Sure, but like
Yeah.
I mean, and I get that it's a cinematography class, but like
Yeah.
just sticking the camera upside down because you want to see what a cool shot looks like is one thing. If you want to make a good piece of artwork,
Yeah.
it all at least has to make some sort of sense, even if it making sense means that there's two realities and all that other. Does that make?
Yeah.
Does that?
Totally agree.
Okay.
Totally agree. I just
The
think,
way you tie those things in is through a story, is what I'm saying.
I just think his was very, very underappreciated. In a way.
Okay.
I think it was very. He did good with it though. I think he did very good with it.
But
think
other people didn't feel that way.
the professor likes it very by the books.
Okay.
If it's not by the books, it's not right. And that's one thing. I mean,
Well, he's there to teach you.
yes.
He's trying to teach you fundamentals.
I like this professor a lot. Don't get me wrong. I like him a lot.
Is this the same as last?
No.
Okay.
Last semester's professor, if I literally filmed a triangle, just a triangle on a wall, and I submit it as my project, he would look at it at a million different angles and be like, wow, this is empowering. This is different. You
You're
know?
not boring me, and I feel like I keep yawning. It's very late at night
Yeah.
when we're recording this, and I apologize. It's like very late at night, and I've
Oh,
been up
it's
since
so-
6 a.m.
it's
and it's
totally okay.
This is hour 17 for me, so go ahead.
That's totally okay. He would find any way to see your film. I mean, I submitted a film, my final film.
Yeah.
So many mistakes. I mean, there was so many audio mistakes, so many camera mistakes.
But it was a cinematography course, right?
Yeah, and he
Or
was just
was
like,
it a directing course?
it was cinematography. It was like all around. And he was just like, wow, this is like very interesting, and especially the way you did this, this, and this. And pointed out all the mistakes and be like, yeah, those actually worked really well. Thinking I did them on purpose. Like he would think we did everything on purpose. Like if somebody just took a blank audio track and put it on a piece of paper, not put it on like an editing timeline, he'd be like, oh, you did that on purpose. That's pretty cool. You know? Well, like my other professor was like, all right,
holds
like,
it
this
holds
isn't.
you to a little bit more of an account.
Yeah, he's like, this isn't how I would do it. I would do it like this. Do it like this. You know? So I feel like the creativity gets.
Interesting.
I feel like the creativity gets thrown out a little bit. I mean, I feel like he did have a lot of leeway room, but I feel like my last professor last year was just like, just throw something together. It's
So-
yours. You made it.
So
Congratulations.
let me elaborate on
Yeah.
this though, because I just want you to see it from a little
Yeah.
bit of a different perspective. Because you know me, and I am totally big on like, if you have an idea, tell me.
Yes.
But to me, based on what you're describing, it's the equivalent of me being like, okay, so I really see this whole scene on sticks. Like I see the whole thing on a tripod, right?
Yeah.
And you're like, let's break out the dolly. I'm like, that my eye starts twitching just thinking about it. I'm like, I just told you. You can see it on
Yeah.
set, right?
I can.
You know? And
I just said.
right. Okay, so I just said,
Yeah.
here's, hey Dan, here's what I just said. Like, you know? But like, I feel like that's the whole point of what your professor's trying to convey is like, I have a lesson to teach you, and then you just completely defy me.
Yep.
I could understand why the professor would be upset about that. It's
Yeah.
like you're trying to learn. So in my opinion, I bring up Picasso all the time
Yeah.
as a painter. It's a great like analogy, and it helps me put perspective on like the art when I'm trying to make stuff
Yes.
myself. So what do I mean? When Pablo Picasso, when he was a little kid, his father was a portrait artist, because they didn't have cameras.
Yeah.
Okay. So the father would do realistic portrait drawings and paintings of people, and then they would sell them, you know, whatever. You'd hire this guy, he comes in, he draws a picture of you.
Mm-hmm.
But as he got older, he couldn't continue doing it, and so his son, Pablo Picasso, he would literally make his son draw people perfectly.
I heard his dad was like an asshole.
Literally would beat him. No
Sucks.
school. You have to draw them perfectly. And then he would crumple them up and throw them in the fireplace and say, do it again, when they were just off by a little bit. Okay? Very abusive by today's standards, whatever.
Yeah.
But when you think of Picasso, you think of the two eyes on the side of the head. You know what I mean? Ladies with 3 boobies, like that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
Crazy out there. What do I mean? So what's the point? The point is you have to know the rules of art before you can break
the
them.
rules. Yeah, exactly.
But why is that important? So,
But you gotta know what rules you're gonna break. You know.
right, and you got to understand the fundamentals of like what the rules are so that you intentionally break them
Yeah.
to make a point. So like you make like a basic ass film, wide, medium, close up. Okay?
Yep.
You go back to a wide, you go to medium, close up.
Yes.
No Dutch.
Nothing. Not even close.
Now a character comes into the film, it's very empowering, or the scene shifts, everything, a little Dutch. Now it makes sense why you're breaking the wide, medium, close up. Everything's level. Wide, medium, close up. This character needs to stand out. How do we make him stand out? Tilt the camera a little bit. You see what I'm saying?
I do.
Now, if you just don't know how to balance your tripod head, and you're one shot's this way, other shot's up here, other shot's down there, whatever, right?
Yeah.
Whatever it is, you just don't know what you're doing. And I'm not saying a person doesn't know what they're doing. There's a big difference. And it's even worse when someone does something and they don't know why they're doing it.
Exactly.
It's like, oh, God. This is so bad. Because you can watch a film and be like, wow, they had no idea what they were doing.
Yeah.
And it's like, how do you know that? Well, there's no intentionality behind the moves that they're making. I feel like your biggest flaw is your fear of messing up.
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. I'll throw everything out. I don't care. Everything I make, throw it out. Haven't posted a thing
In a
2 years.
long time.
I haven't posted everything off my channel. All right, I haven't publicly gone with any of my films since meeting you or going to college, because I don't like anything I make. I think everything's dog shit that I make. I think it's terrible. I think it deserves to go in the trash. And that's the honest truth. And that sounds very harsh, but until it's perfect, I don't want it.
Yeah, especially since you said since meeting me. Yeah, that's harsh. Yeah.
Because I see your drive for perfection.
Yeah, but I post it
And
whether it's good or bad. Like these podcast episodes, half of them are dog shit, if not more than that. I can't wait, dude. You realize like,
But a podcast is a podcast. You know, they
yeah, but like if it's not, but think
they're
about
very
content.
raw.
Think about content.
Well, yeah, I think we have good content in this one.
No, I don't disagree. I'm not saying this episode. I'm saying some of them are good. Some of them are better than others. But I post Monday, Wednesday, Friday at noon because it's like going to the gym.
That's what I got to start doing.
But like whether they're good or bad or
Yeah.
indifferent, like that doesn't matter to me necessarily. It's like if I don't do this, I feel like I'm like I feel like I'm missing a piece of me almost.
I guess I just want to be seen as good, and I want to be seen as better
then
than
you
the
have
rest.
to continue.
But I want to be seen as better than the rest. And that sounds very conceited and very stuck up.
Okay, you
but
play
like,
basketball, right? Oh
Yes.
no, even better.
I suck at basketball.
You did pole vaulting.
I did high jump.
High jump.
Yeah.
You didn't do a pole vault.
No.
High jump's harder, I feel. Pole vaulting, they give you a stick to climb
Pole
up.
vaulting, yeah. I mean, pole vaulting is a lot in the technique, but it's less about your
What's your highest jump?
6'4". That's my highest
Can
recorded
we
jump.
just say it into the mic so people at home can hear?
6'4" is my highest recorded jump.
From the ground.
From the ground straight up to 6'4" over a bar. Backwards. Yes.
Okay.
Almost 6'6".
So
damn close.
How old were you when you started doing high jump?
I got thrown into it sophomore year of high school.
So was it 15, 16?
16, yeah.
Okay. The very first time you jumped over a bar,
Yeah.
what was the height? The very first time.
4'8".
4'8".
Yeah, it's very low.
Why wasn't it 6'4"?
We didn't have it yet. You know, we didn't have it.
Did you compete?
At 4'10", I didn't qualify for anything. No.
Yeah, see that? 2 minutes ago it was 4'8", and then he goes at 4'10".
Okay, so sorry. 4'10" is the lowest to come in at, like when you're going to meets.
How high was the bar in your first?
My sophomore year, I got to like 5'2". My first jump was like 4'8".
How high
probably.
was the bar at your first competition?
First competition 4'10", because that's what it starts at.
Okay.
But like my first jump ever, like in practice, probably like 4'8", 4'6", even lower probably. Like it was just getting to that
Right,
point.
but I'm talking like competition. What matters?
4'10", yeah, 4'10".
But that was in front of
Yeah.
people. That was during a competition.
That was. You would be surprised how many people can't clear 4'10". You'd be very
You're
surprised.
not understanding where I'm going with it, dude. Why didn't you stay at 4'10"?
Because we got better.
But it was easy though, right? You just went from 4'10" to 6'4".
It's the strive.
It was easy,
it's the
right?
strive for being better. It's the strive for being better than the day you were before.
How did
Huh?
you feel when you cleared 6'4"?
Oh, dude, I was happy. I was happy
Why?
because 6'4" is like
Is it the Olympic championship? That's the highest anyone's ever jumped?
No, but it was my personal best. Exactly.
You see what I'm saying?
I know it's about showing growth as well.
It is.
Yeah.
But like, just because you started at 4'10", you know what I mean? What I'm saying is like, a year from now,
Yes.
the podcast, I'm just relating everything. a year from now, this podcast is
Yes.
going to be like amazing quality in comparison to these, and I will guarantee you that you will watch this episode, and I'll watch this episode a year from now and go, what the fuck were we thinking? You know what I mean?
Like, damn.
Right now, this is the best I can do.
Even if I went back like a year ago to like when we were just chilling in your old studio,
Dude, when I watched Tab, I'm like, ugh, I can't believe I made that.
bro. Show my grandmother Tab. That was the thing.
And she thought it was great.
Yeah, after she was done being horrified by what she just witnessed.
Well, it was a creepy kind of movie,
was.
but like,
Damn good movie.
and I love that movie.
Yeah.
But, you know, the quality,
Everything has to get better. You know,
have
everything's
to.
going to get better. Everything,
you have to get
you know,
better.
you grow so much.
But this is why I'm saying you should post your stuff, because it's competition.
Yeah.
It's if you don't post it, then you're not actually showing people what you've done.
Yeah. I guess
Like,
that's totally
judgment's
understandable.
important.
Totally understand. I might go back and like rework some pieces that I've made in the past
Yep.
and rework them with like things that I know now, just making them better. I think that, you know, just making things make more sense and just, you know, the other day we were just chilling by the fire, me and my close friends. And we were like, oh, let's just make something like very small and just make it like one scene and make it really freaking good. You know, work on one individual thing as like, you know, I think my teacher did teach me one good, like well, he taught me a lot of good things, but the best thing I think he taught me was right at the last class. And it was just to work on each individual, perfect each individual scene and then work on perfecting the movie as a whole. I think a lot of times I was trying to perfect the movie as a whole and I was trying to rework different things to make the movie as a whole better. But if you have a couple really good scenes, you know, you can build upon that going forward.
Yeah, I agree. I think each scene should have a beginning, middle, and end, and be its own story.
It's about having an arc within your story.
It's like if you read a book, right?
Yeah.
You could read a single chapter in a night and feel like you started somewhere and finished somewhere.
Yeah.
It's like an episode of a show, right? You don't build out the entire season first. Let's start with a pilot.
Exactly.
And then we'll build off of each thing. Now, if you break the show, right? So you start with a season, and you break it down to episodes, and then you take each episode and you break that down into scenes, and then you take each scene and break it down to a beginning, middle, and end. You're just working backwards from the big one to the small one.
Exactly. And I think it's about just starting small.
I think
and
it's just about starting.
It's about starting, exactly. And I think my biggest problem, we had mentioned this in my last plot that was just insanely crazy and made no sense, is that I went for the picture as a whole. I went for the big picture as a whole and didn't focus on each individual parts.
Right.
You know, like my scenes were so dry and had no meaning. I mean, I was just trying to focus on getting from the beginning to the end. You know, and through that, I slacked in the middle. I slacked where it needed to be good. You know, so I have a lot of good establishing shots, have a lot of good, you know, stylistic shots of just like exteriors and interiors, but there's nothing in the scenes.
There's no meat.
Exactly. There's nothing. So I'm like, that's something I have to build out. And I think until I start, you know, I think I'm going to create something very good very soon. Not like something huge as a whole, but something very small, and it's like maybe a scene. And I might post something like that, you know, be like, oh, this is what I just did. Look how cool this looks. You know, and we'll just go all in on one scene and just make it a damn good scene. You know?
I think you will too. I appreciate you coming on the podcast, dude.
Thank you. We're already an hour already.
I don't know. I think it feels it's been a little bit. I'm exhausted, but like, why don't you check? Go up the soundboard right there. Just check the screen right there. See what we're doing for time.
The screen
Right? Yeah, on the soundboard. What does that say?
Yeah, almost at an hour, 50 minutes.
Yeah, it's good.
It's pretty good. All right, give some closing remarks. Let's hear it.
I appreciate you. This is why our friendship, I think, transcends the work relationship that we have.
I think so.
You know, I appreciate, because like you, this is why I like having you around, dude, because on so many levels you are not afraid to be like, let me tell you how it is, Nick.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And I think it makes us better people, dude.
Exactly.
I love working with you. I'm so happy that you came up. I'm so happy you're home from school. I think it's going to be a dope summer.
I hope so.
And I hope that you want to come back and do more podcasts. And
Always.
Leave your comments down below. Where was something where you need to grow? You know what I mean? Where you either self-identify on something you need to grow at, or something where there was a moment of self-reflection where you were the asshole instead of me. I want to hear those stories. And subscribe, like the video, hit your little notification bell.
Ding, ding.
Ding, ding. And see you in a couple days.
Settle down. That's what it is. Settle down. Let's go. Come on.